Hey everybody, this is Khara Crossway Brindle. I am here with Alex. You have seen him on other videos with me. Hi, Alex.
Hello. Good to be
We
here.
are, thank you. Yeah, I'm happy you're here. We are doing a role play, a heavier role play, which Alex is always game for. So I'm very grateful to Alex for this. This is on the supervisionary side of our business. So we're talking about all things clinical supervision. So the role play today is how to hold space for your supervisee when they have a client die by suicide. Heavier topic. Alex is going to play the role of supervisee to start. I'll be supervisor, and then we're going to switch roles so you can see different styles. There's not one right way to do this, but this is something Alex and I are really passionate about. We want to make sure the community is holding each other comfort space, obviously not being their therapist, but like you're a leader, so you're going to have this happen. Or if you have this happen, you'll be prepared. So here's our role play. All right, Alex, when you're ready, let's jump in and show them a
Okay.
couple things.
Okay.
I have to like stop smiling because this is not a smiling
I
topic.
know. I
Um, but you're a good friend. So, all right, Alex, I know that we got some horrible news today, and I just want to reassure you that I asked for this meeting to really just check in on you. I don't have another agenda. I just want to make sure that, you aren't in fight or flight just coming into supervision going, oh my gosh. Do you mind if I ask how you're doing with the news that you just got
I'm
today?
I'm not doing too well. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm spinning my thoughts. Over analyzing, overthinking, and
Mhm.
I'm emotionally I'm not unstable. It's just like I'm sad. I'm worried. I'm scared. I'm um I'm frightened. Yeah, because this I've never had this happen to me before. Never.
Yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, this is something that a lot of us have to address in our career, and to be scared and frightened and worried makes sense. I don't know if this would be helpful for you, Alex, but this is not the first time I've had to navigate this with a supervisee. And my real goal today is just to make sure that you're as okay as you can be. And if there's things I can do to support you, that's truly the agenda. I think a lot of people worry that when a supervisor ask their supervisee to come in after this, that we're here to kind of rip open your notes and go through it with a fine-tooth comb. And that might come later, but today is really just about what you need and asking you what you need right now. Is there anything
I
that could be
mean,
helpful?
I don't know. I'm like nervous. I'm pissed. I'm angry. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Um, I'm pissed as a human and I'm pissed as a professional. Um, I feel like I failed. I feel
Mm.
like I didn't do my due diligence. I missed something. I'm second guessing. I mean, I jumped from like upset, sad, mad, pissed, second guessing,
Mhm.
um, and grieving at the same time.
Yeah, I know you're just reeling from the news, right? It's only been a couple hours since you got the call, and I wanted to get you in here as soon as I could to support you with this. The things you're naming, Alex, aren't things I haven't heard before. Like they're pretty common to have that anger and the what if I missed something? What if I did something wrong? And it's not really about that in this space. I don't want you to like feel like that's what our job together is going to be. I want to be here to help you through some of that and of course get you the resources you might need because this grief is significant. It might
Yeah.
actually surprise you to know that a lot of folks feel like they have grief symptoms for like 3 to 6 months after a client dies by suicide. That's a long
So it's,
time.
I guess for me, it's just I've never had this happen to me before. And it's really, um, it's super frustrating because how did I miss this? How can I have overlooked it, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and you and I have worked together long enough, Alex, that I definitely don't want to feed that thought. You are an amazing clinician. And so it's not necessarily that you miss something. Sometimes the hardest thing about this job is that we can't keep people from dying. We can't protect them. Our role is to help them and support them and help them grow. And sometimes they still make this choice, which is really hard for a lot of reasons.
I guess I've never been in a position where I give it 100% and it's still not successful. It's still not
Not
um
enough. It feels like not enough.
not enough,
Hmm.
not enough. And I guess there's the heaviness of the emotions, the family. And then there's a huge sense of responsibility too. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't force them to do this, or I didn't, but there's like the responsibility of, did I do my due diligence? Did I,
Mhm.
so I guess that's part of the second guessing.
Yeah. And so, obviously this doesn't have to be arranged in this moment, but sometimes it is helpful to go back through and look at this case in a little bit more detail and, look at it together and see if there was an opportunity for something to be different. But more importantly, what can we learn from the experience? And, you're hours into this grief, so that's not the priority right now. But just know that I'm open to that if that would help you. That's really, if it's a helpful thing, let's do it. If it's actually going to hurt you more than help you, then let's have a conversation about how to do this really thoughtfully. Because my intention is never to reinforce I missed something or I messed up or I could have done better, right? Like, I don't think that's going to serve you as a professional. I want to help you have some compassion towards yourself through this because this is really tough. And there's probably something that we couldn't control in this situation, which is really common for when we're new to the field. And being your supervisor for the last few months, I know that you're eager and you're driven and you've got a lot to offer. And I don't want this to make or break your professional goals, your growth, where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Does that
I
make
mean,
sense?
yeah, I totally hear you. I guess there's this the mixture of anger, grief, and sadness
Mm-hmm.
with anxiety over the anxiety is coming from like, I'm nervous. Is this, being that he was a minor, his social service is going to get involved,
Mm-hmm.
is, the kid, was on probation, court supervision, there's so many hands in the pots with minors. And it's
Yeah.
just, it's overwhelming just I guess it's like the phone calls between social worker, probation officer, guardian ad litem,
Mm-hmm.
the parents. It's just I'm overwhelmed. That's why I'm pissed because like they didn't take into consideration the ripple effect. Not that it's their fault
Mm-hmm.
to take into consideration. It's just so many things come up when I get phone calls from all these people, and then it's like
Sure.
they have releases, so I have to give them the information. It's like I have to repeat the story over and over
Mm-hmm.
and over and
Yeah.
over. And it's like it's frustrating. It's not my story to tell, but I still have to let them know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I was yeah, it's just annoying. It's annoying.
Yeah. Well, and if there's something I can do, if you want me to help field some of those phone calls or support you in this, like you're not alone. You don't have to do this by yourself. I'm your supervisor. I'm here for you that way. The fact that you already have had a couple phone calls in just a few hours that you got this information is probably adding to this overwhelmed feeling, right? Of like feeling like you have to be accountable to all these folks.
Right.
So if I can take some of that off your plate, I'm happy to do so. I want to spend the rest of our supervision time talking about what you need today specifically, knowing that all of this is kind of up in the air. You're just taking this
I think
in.
I think I need to grieve, and I think, can I go home?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Of
think I
course
want
you
to go
can.
home. I want to go home. I don't want to be, because I think the staff, they mean good. They mean well by how you doing. But I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to, because I'm not doing well. And so when they say, how are you doing? I'm not doing well. And
Yeah,
so we have the staff, we have a big staff. And so to hear everybody, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? It's like, I don't want to repeat the story over and over again. And
right.
I just need that space. I need to go home.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let's start with getting a plan to clear your schedule for the rest of the day, getting those clients rescheduled or moved off the calendar for a little bit. Happy to support you with that as your supervisor. And, with your permission, I want to just, stay in touch over the next few days. Like there's gonna be a lot of emotions. As someone
Yeah.
who's actually navigated this before, I want to normalize some of that and be here for you if there's something that would be helpful. Does that sound like a
Yeah.
good first step of
Most
like, let's
definitely.
clear
Yeah.
the calendar? Okay.
Yeah, I think so because I mean, right now I'm talking to you and I'm like, my thoughts are all over the place and my emotions.
Yep.
If I'm doing this in supervision, imagine with client, I don't want to be with clients like this.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
where I really appreciate your self-awareness, Alex, that this
yeah.
is, already tough enough and you're like, I just need to take some space. So I'm going to support you with that. Let's look at your calendar today and get some things going and let's go from there, okay?
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No time out there for folks. So obviously we're kind of fast tracking a conversation, alluding that Alex and I have a connection as supervisor, supervisee. Let's flip the script and see what Alex's style will be. Let's put him in the hot seat and see what
All
happens.
right. All right. All right, Khara. I wanted to meet with you, especially after hearing the news today. I wanted to check in with you as a person, not as a professional, as a person. How are you doing?
I think I'm in shock a little bit. I feel a little numb. Um, I want answers. I mean, getting a voicemail that my clients died, it just feels cold. I'm a little mad about that. I don't know. Is it natural for a clinician to want like to call the person back and be like, tell me more? Like, I need more answers. I need closure. Is that a thing?
Yes, it is. It is. Especially you're experiencing right now the what I call the intersectionality of human and professional. As a professional, you want to know you're doing the best that you can to help out. But as a human, caring and empathetic, you want that connection. It's been severed by their actions, and you want answers as a caring human that you are. So I want to validate that I want to normalize this, that this is normal, what you're feeling right now.
Thank
And
you.
it's a struggle. I know it's a struggle. And yes, it's um you want to know what happened. And unfortunately, there's going to be some answers we cannot get and we won't get.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I
so
mean, I think I'm also just worried that, my coworkers, maybe just specifically you, I mean, not to put you in the hot seat, but like you're my supervisor. Like, what if I'm worried that you're going to see me as an incompetent professional, that I've made a mistake, I've messed this up?
no, I mean, if anything, you've done, I know your work, I know how you function, I know how you work with clients and your goals and how you're very good at tending and holding space for them. So I know that your intent and your desire has always been in the client's best interest. That does not change my perspective of you, number one. Number two, I know for a fact how you work and your work ethic. You cross your T's and dot your I's. So I don't want you to second guess your professionalism and your career based on somebody else's choices. Unfortunately, we have no control over their choices. Sometimes they don't even verbalize this, and they make a choice, and they follow through, and we have no idea.
I mean, I don't know if you can answer this for me, but I feel like is the director going to be mad at me? Are we going to get sued as an agency? Like, what
No,
have I done?
so there's a process we follow, which is an incident report, and then based on what we've done, our due diligence, which I know you have, we just put that in. We put that in the client's file, and we close out the case. But the thing is, you don't have to worry about if we do have to, if social services comes or whatever, we have to follow through. We'll follow through and abide, but you're covered through our insurance. We are all covered. Don't worry about that. We got
Okay.
your back, and we will support you 100%.
Yeah. I just feel like I've let you all down. I feel like I've
No,
missed something.
here's the thing. I want to really reiterate this. When someone makes a decision like this that impacts us as humans and as professionals, things come into we are affected in our domains, all our domains, and we have to be very mindful how we're affected. And so every second guess, every doubt that comes up is going to come up physically, emotionally, relationally, mentally, and spiritually. And I want to normalize that. Physically, you're going to feel the tension, the stress, the anxiety. Emotionally, you're going to have sadness, guilt, anger. You're going to second guess your relationship with the field, your relationship with the colleagues, your relationship with yourself, your competence. And I want to normalize that because this is part of the process, especially having to navigate this. And then mentally, you're going to have, your thoughts, your values, and beliefs might be questioned. I want to normalize that. It's not your fault. Do not take that on. This is part of the process, and don't second guess your role as a clinician. I've had experience of this as well with my clients as well. It's super discomforting. However, you cannot second guess. You are not responsible for other people's decisions, especially when you've done your due diligence to support them in their best interest.
Mm, yeah,
How can
I
I
appreciate you
support
saying that.
that? And what do you feel that how can we support you? How can doing understanding your five domains, physical, emotional, mental, relational, and spiritual, how can we support you as you navigate through this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm having the urge to go home, but then I feel like I'll just be more in my thoughts, and I don't know if that's really going to help me. So, I
Mhm.
mean, I guess maybe it's kind of weird to say it this way, but maybe I'm just looking for your blessing to continue to work today
Yes.
and
Mhm.
see how tomorrow feels. I mean, the day is
Definitely.
almost over anyway, so I only have one client left, but like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel yet. I'm still
Yeah,
kind of
and
like numb.
that's totally fine. You do what you know yourself best, and I want you to honor that. You are the expert on yourself. So just let us know, and we are all ears, and we're here to support you. If you need to take tomorrow off and you realize that after today, give me a call. We'll support you. We will take care of your clients and clear your schedule. Your self-care and your stability and your well-being is our number one priority.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Do we have to go through a file, or is there anything I should be preparing
We
for?
will that don't worry about that right now. Right now, we will do an incident report. Just we'll do that incident report as needed, but don't worry, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll get there,
Okay.
but don't right now. I want you to take care of yourself. That's our immediate concern.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like I can focus on my last client. And I know the running joke is, we'd rather focus on other people's problems than our own. So I'd like to work with them, and they're really good clients. And I feel like we could still do good work. I feel like that would help me be less numb to focus on them, if that makes sense. So I don't want you to
Totally.
think I'm going in going, "Ah, I don't care about this person."
No,
I
that's
think it'll be a
totally.
welcome distraction, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It totally makes sense because, and I think it'll reinforce your role as a clinician as well, especially because you can continue doing what you do best, which is take care of the client and work in the client's best interest. So I support you 100%. Yes.
Okay. So I'll do that. I'll finish up with this client, and it sounds like maybe we'll talk again tomorrow, and I'll
Yes.
let you know
Yeah.
what's kind of
Let's do
happening.
it day by day, and then we'll take it. And if anything comes up, if you have any stress, you need to give me a call before work, or email me, or even here, please, we're here for you, myself and the other clinicians as well, the other supervisors as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. All right, so I'm gonna stop that there for folks. All right, viewers, take a deep breath just in case any of that like hit. Right? Like uh, Alex, what were some of the things you were really trying to emphasize in this video? I don't want to put words in your mouth. So, like, when you
No,
were sitting in this role, what was your goal?
as a supervisor, do not question your competence as a clinician. Do not question your competence as a professional clinician. Do not question your humanness as a professional as well. So I want you to validate both. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
So, like, as a supervisor, you can hold for both
Exactly.
these things.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like for those that know supervisionary and where this video is going to land, like we also don't want you our supervisors to be therapists. This is probably the closest you get is holding for the immediacy of the grief, the stress, the anger, the sadness, right? And so doing that with thoughtfulness, which Alex, I feel like when I was supervisee, that landed really well. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Any feedback when it was your role as a supervisee? Anything that you noticed in
No,
the
I
style?
think I think you did the same thing. You did the same thing. Like, listen, we're going to take care of the incident report. I mean, I called it incident reports in my agency. The incident
Yeah,
report as sooner right now, because we go into that administrative brain, like, oh my gosh, the investigation, this and that. It's like, you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, what do you need? Yeah, and
yeah,
don't second guess your competence as a clinician. Yeah,
right.
that was the main piece. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
You covered it.
So,
You covered
viewers, this is the thing to emphasize is that Alex and I, both from being supervisors, our style is let's address the human person first. It's very natural for a supervisee in this situation to feel like the panic of I have to go through all these reports. We have to go through my file with a fine tooth comb. I'm going to be under investigation. I'm going to have a lawsuit. I'm going to be grieved, right? Like most of us are
it.
going to spiral out to worst case scenario. And
Yeah,
so to have the ability to slow your supervisee down, to hold space for them to just feel whatever they need to feel and articulate those fears is very different than saying, let's jump right into a fine tooth comb review of your file,
right,
right? Like I know some agencies and some professionals, this is where they land is they just want to go through the paperwork. But if your client is, or if your supervisee is in shock, if they're angry, if they're scared, how harmful could that be to say we got to start here with the
right.
administrative stuff? So Alex and I both naturally, without even talking to each other, showed up in a different way because we really believe that there is value in just holding space for them being human first, knowing that all that other stuff can come, but it might not be in that first day and definitely probably not in the first 5 hours of them
Correct.
just reeling with the news, right?
Correct.
Any thoughts on that, Alex?
Oh, correct. 100%. And just letting the normalize any human and professional doubt and stress and emotions that may come up. Normalize it, normalize it, normalize it, and let them know that, they are not alone. Number one. Number two, they're not incompetent. Number three, that we will be there to support them throughout the process, whatever
Right.
that may be.
right?
Yeah.
This isn't a one and done. We're like having a conversation. We never talk about it again. Be there for your supervisees. Obviously, like get them resources, support them, have referrals if that's what they need, have support groups if that's what they need. But ask this question frequently. It's not ask it one time and never speak about what they need again. So for anyone who's like, this is just the tip of the iceberg, know that there is more material coming out on
Arm.
this. At the time of this recording, Alex is actually reading a manuscript on this topic
Yes.
of how to help clinicians heal from client suicide that I have written. Excited to share that all with you here in the future. But just know, like, we have some thoughts for you, and it's not let's go through your file or let's cover your ass. Like that is a piece of the puzzle, but it does not feel good to most clinicians to start there. That is not
Correct.
what we want you. That's not how we want you to show up in your agency, your private practice, your group practice, wherever you're working. So let us know some thoughts when you watch this video. Put some comments below the video. Let us know what you're thinking about, and just know that this is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how this can be modeled. Alex and I are two people. There are lots of other styles of how this could go. But if there's one key takeaway, show up in the humanist first, not
Yes.
the cover your ass paperwork first.
Correct. 100% accurate.
So
Yeah.
thank you, Alex, for being
Thank
willing to go
you.
through this role play. I really appreciate you. Viewers, stay tuned for more role plays. We'll see you next time.